Got some new stand-up dates I'm excited to tell you all about. On June 19th, I will be at Vernon Speakeasy. The 21st, I will be at Turtle Mountain Brewing. On the 27th, I will be at Unhinged Brewing. On July 2nd, I will be at Berman and Boots. On July 5th, I will be finally returning to Casada's Comedy Club and Cantina for the Comedy Battle. On July 11th, I will be in Santa Fe at the Kava Bar. And on July 17th, I will be at Sushi High in Denver, Colorado. All information for these will be on my Instagram. Hope to see you at a show. What's up, dude?
What's going on?
It's good to see you.
Yeah, man. Good to be here. Finally made it.
Yeah. If this is making it, the comedy scene really is going downhill, isn't it? Yeah. Jesus Christ. But thank you for coming and doing this, man.
Yeah, I always see these clips on my FYP.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta get on there.
Well, I wish my numbers would reflect that. Because Jesus Christ, man. We're struggling out here. Cheers. It's good to see you.
Yes.
Cheers, man.
Thanks
You're a funny motherfucker, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
One of my favorite, I don't want to burn your material, but one of my favorite jokes, not just like locally, like that I've heard recently, is the one that involves a Starburst wrapper.
Okay.
I don't know why that tickles the right part of my brain. But
that is based on a true story.
That is unfortunate.
That actually happened.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Did you tell her?
Yes, I did. I told her afterwards. And I was like, hey, I just want you to know. And she got up and it was still in there. Oh. And she's like, why didn't you say anything earlier? She was hella cool. And she was like, well, why didn't you say nothing earlier? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know. Like what do you do? It's like a booger in your nose. It's like,
right,
it's like a booger in your ass. Like, it's just.
It's like, I don't know when I'm going to be here again. I don't want to ruin the moment.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just happy that I'm here. Like, let's just finish this.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, man. I don't know. That's when you have a come to Jesus moment. It's like, hey, do you need like a couple extra bucks for some 2-ply? Like the stuff that won't stick around later?
We had eaten out and then I was eating out, right? But it was like the cheap restaurant, the 1-ply toilet paper. So she blamed the establishment. I'm like, I get that.
How long have you been doing stand-up for?
12. I'm not sure if we count halves, but 12 and a half years.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Is that all here in Albuquerque?
Let's see. I did 6 years in Albuquerque, and then I went to El Paso. I was there for like 3-4 years, and then I came back.
Were you born and raised like here in Albuquerque?
No, born in New York, raised up north in the Four Corners area.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and then I moved here in 2007 for college.
How long were you in New York for?
Like 5-6 years.
Okay, so you moved out when you were really young.
Yeah, I moved out to the reservation when I was starting kindergarten, like the week of.
What was that like? Do you have any memories of like going to kindergarten on the reservation? Because you hear about all these things about how badly like funded and the lack of resources and like all that. Did you experience any of that? Or
you don't realize any of that until you're older. And
That's fair.
Yeah, and then people tell you, like when you're off the res, they're like, "How is that?" It's like it's fine, and then. There's a bunch of memories that so on the reservation, I don't know if they still do this, but there's a thing called tribal clothing where once a year you get a big plastic bag, jacket, shirt, pants, shoes. This is back when LA Gear was still popping.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's before your
it's before my time, but I know the brand. Like I get the reference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then pants. And they would show up like one day one bag, 2 colors for the boys, and then I think it was just pink for the girls. And so I was happy. I just moved there, and so I took a bag and I get home and I'm showing my parents, and they're like, we didn't sign up for that. Like, we don't need that kind of assistance. Like, those are for the. And then that's when I was like, oh, okay, like those are for the others.
Right. Yeah, right, yeah. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chop Chili. Guys, this is personally my favorite chili brand here in the state of New Mexico, and you can find them online at chopchilico.com. You can also find them all across the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Smith's, and a bunch of other stores in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. I believe they're even down in El Paso now. They sell red and green chili, of course. My personal favorite is this blend of red and green, and they also sell online frozen bags of green chili. So again, go to chopchilico.com to get yourself some amazing chili today. Now back to the podcast. No shit. Okay, so and then did you have any family do you still have family in New York?
Yeah. So my whole dad's side is over there.
Oh, okay. Was there ever any inclination to move out to New York and do stand up? Because I would imagine that'd be that's like one of the spots for stand up.
I thought about it briefly, but like all my family is upstate. And so I think they got a funny bone in Albany, and that's where I'm from. And then I'm sure there's like a few other clubs, but everyone wants to go to the city, and it's just like the price, and then and I don't really like know anyone where I can like live with them, and then have to find a job, pay rent. It just seems like a whole lot of work.
Yeah, no, I all of that ran through my head as I said that out loud. Like, yeah, but fuck paying. Like, I see these videos every now and again, talk about like the explore pages and all that. It'll come up, and it's like, look at this great New York apartment for only $3,000 a month, and it's a hallway where the kitchen is a part of the bathroom. I remember I saw one where like you walk all the way in, and there's like a small, and they call it a walk-in closet, but it's probably about this deep, and it's a like small closet for like that's the only one in there for clothes, and then there was like a shower, a thin wall, and then a kitchen.
Okay,
and then there was like another small like closet area just for a toilet. It's like you're living like a rat. And it's like, yeah, $3,000 a month. Isn't that amazing? You get your own little balcony for this little like rickety thing is about to fall off the side of the building.
Yeah, I was out there for a week doing comedy. I think it was like 2017, and I stayed in I think it was like the Lower East Side, like the Ukrainian village.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and the room that I was staying in was smaller than this. It was just a bed. They had just enough space for a toilet and a shower, and then like a small closet. And then you step outside the bedroom door, and there's a tight, windy staircase that took you to the kitchen. The kitchen was so small you could reach through the window just above the sink and put your hand in your neighbor's sink.
I don't think we're supposed to live like that, man.
Yeah, and to move in, because they were looking for a roommate, but they just had it on Airbnb. It was $1,400.
What the fuck? Fuck that. Yeah, no, it's not worth it. Stay in Albuquerque.
Yeah, like
fucking worth it, man. What made you want to get into stand up in the first place?
Man, it's always a long answer. I've been trying to think of like a short.
That's why we're here.
So I had a friend who would always bring stand-up videos back when Comedy Central was doing their little like the
30 minutes.
Yeah, that, and then Comedy Blend. And so he would bring it to class on a VHS, and we would watch them. And
to class?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, so we would take it into class, and then we would take over one of the teacher's classrooms during lunch.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That's a fucked up show and tell, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was all edited, but and because he was funny. My friend was one of the funniest people, and then when he started bringing in all these tapes, all the lines he was using in class, I'm like, these from these tapes, like, you motherfucker. And so so that happened, and then when I came here for college, I took I just copied him, and I started doing all of Red Fox's jokes.
Okay.
And I would tell people, and everyone's like, "This guy is hilarious." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not telling y'all where I got this from," but America's Got Talent had just come out, and so UNM had a Lobo's Got Talent, and it was all stolen jokes. I did like 5-6 minutes stolen jokes. 5 minutes where there's no breath, so just like and yeah, and then it was hard finding a comedy scene here, but my only thing was like I just want to know if I'm funny.
Right.
Yeah, it was just, just I'm gonna go up once and then check it off, like, hey, I did it, and then done.
Did you ask, and I don't ask, when I ask is like, did you get any laughs doing the fucking Lobos Got Talent? Because that has to be such a weird environment to do any kind of stage. Because you've got like, imagine people doing like music and like magic tricks, and like I'm sure there's like a couple of acrobatic weirdos flipping around, and then you've got like a guy in a microphone telling dick jokes.
Well, there was this girl who did all the talent shows on campus, and she was cleaning up. Like she was getting like $300 here. Free pizza voucher here, $700 over. Like she was
trying to survive.
Yeah, hey, she was killing it. And her trick was she would do the hula hoop, do the Rubik's Cube. By the time she finished the Rubik's Cube, she would have recited pi to the 100th like place. And she would hand out sheets, and so you could follow her. And she was killing it. I'm like, hey, I don't know. I mean. But they had this banner. It said Lobos Got Talent, and it was like singing, juggling, like acting or something. And then in the bottom corner it said stand up comedy. I was like, no, I can't do that. I could do that though, like decently, I think. But yeah, so that's why I got one laugh. I forgot what the joke was. It was some dirty joke, and they're like, yeah, you can't do that here. I'm like, all right, but
You just went up there and did Eddie Murphy for 5 minutes and like, nope, you can't say anything you just said.
I actually did Cosby. It was a Cosby joke.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, this is 2008.
Right, this is before.
Yeah.
This is when he was still America's dad.
Yes.
This is before we found out all of the roofies and the pudding pops and
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, we still liked them then. But, yeah, so that was 2008. And then right after that, 2012, in like March, there was another contest that I saw on Facebook, and LB Johnson, I'm not sure if you know who he is.
Yeah.
He was on the radio, I think, and he was talking about a comedy contest. At
I was thinking about the president.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Lyndon B. Johnson?
Yeah, I was thinking, is he performing at a fucking middle school? No. What is he about to tell me?
No, this is a radio DJ.
Okay.
Yeah, he had this, I forgot what the station was. It was like a hip-hop station. But there was a club on Nob Hill called Copacabana. And it was myself. Anthony A. was on there. It was like real early. And like a few other people. And I did the Lobos Got Talent set. I was wasted though. I got there like 3 hours early. I was waiting. I'm like, well, just pass time, take shots. They cut my mic off, turned up the music. Oh, it was that.
Were you like incoherent on stage?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you what happened other than somebody like, come on, son, just come on down.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but that was March, and then in October I did it for the first time, like for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's granted. I've made an ass of myself on stage, but I haven't gotten like incoherent on stage. Thankfully, like the only time I ever came close to that. Well, I think it was last year, or no, it was November of 2023. So I was like 4 months into it, maybe. And I thought I was way sooner on a lineup than I was for an open mic over at Red Door. But it turns out I was not like 4th. I was like 14th. So like 3.5 whiskeys later, I'm sitting there like, fuck, all right, I guess I'll do it. And I just got 2.5 minutes into it. I saw all of these horrific faces. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Just horrific, horrified faces. And my girl was sitting in the back just like,
oh, yeah, no.
I was like, all right, I'm pulling the plug. We're done here. No. And then I remember like at some point last year, probably like in maybe like a year. No, it was like maybe in July-ish. We're doing a show at Safe House, and I had too many there. But then I had a spot at Dry Heat that I had to run down to. So I literally just like sped walk down there, and Sarah pulled me. So she's like, you're on in 5 minutes. And I was like, fuck, okay. I pull it together mentally. I get on stage. I surprisingly do well. And I remember I was trying to walk out, and June pulled me aside, and June was like, you were like really lighthearted tonight and like open and goofy. It was really good. I was like, thanks, man. It's like, yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
You're very likable.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I was like, fuck, all right. Thanks, I do have to smile more on stage. Jesus Christ.
The drunkest I've ever been on stage was opening up for Baby Bash at the Jokes and Jams.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was nervous. I think they had like by the end of the night they had like 1,500 people there.
I was gonna say that's the big revel, right? When that happened, fuck that.
When I
Oh
was
my
up,
God.
there was maybe like 1,000, and that was nerves. I was throwing them back, and when I watch my clip now, I can't watch it because to me I look drunk. I've shown other people, and they're like, you sound fine. I'm like, I can tell, like I'm fucked up in this.
Did you do well at least?
Oh yeah, no, I
Okay,
got compliments. Everyone was like, best I've seen you do. I'm like, if you only knew.
Well, that's the unfortunate. And it's funny because there's this guy. I didn't even know he did stand up, but he mostly did like movie reviews and shit back in the day online. His name's Christian Harloff, and he was talking about how, of all people, Bert Kreischer gave him this advice of like, don't drink before you go on stage, because then it's like if you drink before you go on stage and you do well, you're gonna start thinking you need it before you go on stage. But if you drink before you go on stage and you bomb, then you can blame it on the booze. And that's the trap I want to like. I might have a beer beforehand. I might I can't smoke because then I just get too tired and I'm too sleepy, and that's not good for anybody. But I might have like a beer beforehand. But yeah, I don't want to get into the mode where it's like I need a couple before I go on stage, because then it's like, well, what if you have a couple in one night? What if you have multiple shows in a week and you're gonna keep drinking the whole time? Nah, that's not sustainable.
Yeah,
Fuck that. At least you didn't bomb in front of fucking over 1,000 people.
see that, and that's why I was drinking, because I was like, I would have something that I could blame it on, and if someone tells me that I did suck, I'm like, well, I blacked out, so it never happened.
Jesus, well, it's on tape, motherfucker. How long had you been doing stand up until you figured out that like this is something you're gonna keep doing? And then it's because what came first? I want to keep doing this for the foreseeable future, or holy shit, I'm actually kind of good at this. What came first?
Holy shit, I'm actually kind of good at this, because the first time, so yeah, let's see, this is 2012. I wrote my set in the shower before the open mic, and so I get there and I just recited everything that I had gone over. It was at Nexus, and yeah, I got laughs like a minute in, and like that first laugh, I was like, I'm hooked. I am definitely hooked. And yeah, after that, I was like, okay, if I can come up with this in the shower like an hour prior, then at that time though, I was like, maybe I'm the chosen one. Like it only took me like a minute to write all this stuff. And so the next mic that I did, I was like, I'm just gonna go up there, I'm gonna freestyle. I suck. I bombed. I ate shit so bad. And but I was like, hey, and then the third time that I came back was like, okay, like this is like I can tell that this is something that I actually want to do, because like after bombing in front of like 8 people, I'm like, and I'm showing up again, like, okay, I actually want to do this. And I'd say like for the next year, I was doing like 3 or 4 mics a week. And yeah, I just like doing it. I don't know. Like long term, I'd say like maybe like my 4-year mark. No, I'd say like by year number 2. Yeah, because I wasn't getting booked in Albuquerque, and I'm like, I have like all this stuff, and I don't know. I couldn't figure out why. Someone told me not to talk about this but he doesn't really like run shows anymore. But there was one. So I went to one of these bookers, and I was like, I know that I'm funnier than at least the last 5 people that you've had headline this. Like, why am I not getting booked by you at this spot? And he said, you need to be more loud and deliberate. I'm
The
like,
fuck is that supposed to mean?
I'm like, do you want me to be like a stereotypical black comic? Like that's what I hear. And
Was he trying to like pull a Def Jam out of you?
Yeah.
Where all you do is hooping and hollering and jumping around and
maybe, I mean, that I'm like, I'm not like natural, like I'm not a loud person. Like it's
Right.
just like, I'm like, I'm gonna be exhausted. So I started going to Phoenix, and
well, what does it say about him that his demand wasn't you need to be funnier? You know what I mean? You see what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
shouldn't that be number one? Just be funny.
right,
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how you do it. Just get there.
Yeah, and he had said that the material is good. He's like everything is good, but I mean, I've always struggled with like stage presence though. So I'm like, I don't know if that's what he meant. Like maybe just be ignorant and just talk.
It's just that's a weird criticism to give.
Yeah.
Because there's soft-spoken comedians that are touring, especially even at the time. I mean, I get it because 2012, so that's like
Hannibal Buress had just started to bubble around this
yeah,
time.
him. But like the big boys are like Dane Cook, Bill Burr is really starting to hit his stride, and I mean, yeah, I get it. Those guys are both extremely loud and shit. But then you also have a guy like Anthony Jeselnik was big was getting really big at the time, and he's mild mannered, monotoned.
Right.
He's one of my favorites, but like he's super quiet. Not super quiet, but he talks like this the whole time, and he has long pauses.
Who's it? The other one, Carr. I forgot what his first name was.
Oh, Jimmy Carr.
Yes.
The British guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the loudest thing about him is his robotic laugh. But like other than that, he just kind of just speaks real proper. He's like fucking he's like Alfred. You know, Batman's butler. He just speaks.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, well, then I'm not getting booked here. And like your mind starts to go where it's like, okay, well, am I funny elsewhere? And so it's just like, okay, well, like what's close? And at the time, Phoenix was, I mean, I have family there. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll try Phoenix. And I got laughs at that club. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just keep coming back here. And just, yeah, I'm like, I get to network at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, and you kind of just said it, but like that guy's not doing comedy anymore. So what the fuck did he know?
Yeah. And I mean, just like a full circle thing.
Did his name start with a K?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I've heard things.
Well,
Never
see,
good things, but I've heard things.
Like that rubbed me the wrong way, but like a full circle thing, it felt good, and I wasn't proud of myself that it felt good. But when I was running a show at Revel, he hit me up for a spot. I was like, "Come on, man!" I'm like, and I was,
You need to be loud and boisterous.
I was like, "It's right here." Like, what can I say? Like high road, low road. And I told him I'm gonna need to see a 5-minute clip, and that just started like a 2-hour rant in the DMs, and I'm like, it felt good though.
Shit. What did the Albuquerque comedy scene look like back then?
It was hard, just because it was hard to find a club. So at that time, I'm like, okay, well, I want to try comedy, and I would always Google. Even when I was in college, I would Google comedy Albuquerque. Couldn't find nothing.
Because was Laughs even open at that point?
Laughs closed in 2007.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so I found an article, I'd say like August, September, and it had AJ Martinez, Sarah Kennedy, and Matt Peterson in this article. And I'm like, okay, well, I have no idea who these people are, but like I'll just look them up on Facebook. And so I wrote all three of them on Facebook. Sarah gave me a list of the open mics. And then AJ said, if you're serious about comedy, there's a show here at Elliott's, which is now, it was Boxing Bear over on Alameda. Now it's something else. I forgot what it is. But he said, come by, check us out, and see if this is actually something that you want to do. So I went by, and those comics, like, they seemed like they were, like, here. I'm like, dang, like, these guys are hilarious. And so I talked to AJ and John Cuellar, and then they had told me about the open mic at Nexus on Tuesday night was when they had it. But it was maybe
You hear those
30
fucking
comics.
pigeons in the wall?
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, "You got kids outside?" And just, Daddy.
God, I hope not. That'd be fucking unfortunate. Yeah. But yeah, those are the fucking pigeons in the
I
wall.
was wondering. Yes, they are in there. They are in there.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like,
No.
motherfucking pigeons, man. I hope they didn't come up on the mics. But yeah, if you hear screaming infants, that's just the birds in the wall. The maintenance people suck.
They are. Yeah. All I'm thinking is that in a couple weeks you're going to smell them.
See, and that's what I'm worried about. I'm hoping that they get down here and they're like, "Hey, we need to get these birds out of the wall." Yeah. I'm thinking about keep cutting landlord.
They're like, we're going to cut this hole. We're going to cut this hole. We're going to find it.
But anyway, so you went down to what was at the time Elliott's. You saw
Yeah.
them do everything. You talked to John Cuellar, and then from there.
Yeah, and then they told me about the Nexus mic, and so I posted on Facebook, and yeah, I mean, I always thought that the scene at the time was really supportive, and everyone was like, "Hey, like if this is something that you want, you got to keep coming out. Like you got to get reps, especially Sarah. Like I always give props to Sarah because at the beginning she was really encouraging." And so, yeah, at the time, but there was, I would say when I started, there's maybe 12 people who are still doing it.
Like, even that seems like a high number.
Oh, I mean, there was maybe, I mean, because there's Kurt, Keith, Smitty, or well, Steph, Sarah, AJ, and John, and Mary Bird, who are now still active. But I mean, it's funny seeing how many people like just come and go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you do something like stand up for so long, especially back because right now it's a boom. Mm-hmm. Like there's stand up everywhere. It's more popular than it's ever been. Like I remember reading something. I think it was like last year, maybe the year before, where it said that stand up tickets were up like 330%, like sales wise, like around the country. So it's like it's a huge boom right now, and everyone's trying to figure out how to do it the best way. What's the newest way to do it? I mean, Kill Tony just got on Netflix, and so all these different things. But I mean, even now, it's like, well, how the fuck do you get there? I mean, you have to know. I mean, obviously, knowing the right people, but it's like, does it matter how good you are? Does it matter how many asses you can get into the seats? Then it's like, well, how do you build a following? How do you use the algorithm properly? How do you this and then you're beating your head against the wall for a long time, and obviously I can't speak to any experience like that. I'm about to hit 2 years. Okay. So I'm brand new still. But I hope that in 5, 8, 10 years, I'm still like, yeah, I love this shit. Mm-hmm. But you know, if it doesn't work, that's like, fuck, what am I doing? Yeah. I'm still telling dick jokes to fucking 15 people.
But if you like telling dick jokes, then, because I had to ask myself, like what keeps me coming back? Like what's the end goal? And like even with all the new people coming in, it's like, okay, well, why are they doing this? Like, do they like comedy? Do they think that they're gonna get rich or like have like that one viral clip that's just gonna hit big or something? Like, and I think the reason for the boom is people want to be trending. It's just for all the content.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a huge part of it. And I mean, obviously you do have people, I don't think it's, I mean, I can't speak for anybody, obviously, but I know that at least the reason I got into it is because, well, I didn't even want to do it in the first place, but I didn't. Well, because I'm a huge fan of it, but I always looked at it like, that's like for the other guys. Like they can go do that. You can go stand on a fucking stage with a microphone and figure it out. That is daunting. That's impossible. Mm-hmm. It's like this weird, like you're playing a trick on the audience. You have to like hypnotize them to thinking you're funny. You know what I mean? It was so foreign to me. But then like looking back on it, like an absolute fucking psychopath, there was like maybe 3 weeks where I would just like go to an open mic and watch. Mm-hmm. And just like, man, these guys suck. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, is this what? Because I didn't even know we had open mics. And I didn't even start learning about it until I think I had, not early on, but maybe like, 2 years into the podcast, I had Jared on because I saw him at the roast battles, and I had Buck on because I saw him at the roast. Like, oh, these guys are fucking funny. Mm-hmm. Like, these guys are slaughtering at these roast battles. Like, I want to talk to these guys. I learned about the open mic, started seeing the other psychopaths that are doing stand-up comedy in town, and I was like, fuck, okay. I didn't even know we had open mics. Yeah. But this is insane. These people are doing this. But then I went to the very short-lived mic over at, what the fuck is it called? Inside Out. Oh, okay. And A. Marie and Buck, after one of those open mics, they had a couple in them. And they're like, "Hey, you're doing stand up next week, whether you like it or not." And I was like, "All right." Yeah. I was like, "I don't have 20 seconds." And they're like, I don't have 5 minutes. Like, I don't care if you have 20 seconds. You're gonna go up there and fucking do it. And I just ate a dick. I bombed. I think the only laugh that I got was Steph. He was way in the back. Okay. And I just hear, "Ha!" And I was like,
"That's all you need.
That works." That works for me. And then fucking A. Marie put me on a show a month later. And, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I was like, all right, sounds good. Yeah. I guess I'll do it. And I remember I was sandwiched in between Steph and Black Mike.
Okay.
And that was fucking daunting.
Yeah.
Because I started going to open mics after that. I was like, oh, okay, I see the hierarchies now. I see who's been doing it a long time. I see who's good at it. I see who's been... It's like, you see who's been doing it a long time is actually good at it. Doing it a long time and sucks ass. And then everyone's in the middle trying to figure out where they're at. And I was like, oh, no, these guys are really good.
Yeah.
And thank Christ I didn't bomb on that show. There were many bombs to follow, but on that show, I didn't eat a dick completely. And I was like, oh, this could be a lot of fun. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, you bring up good points. Like, well, people want to get viral and they want to get rich. And then I think a lot of it too is they just want like a social circle. They want like a place to hang out and a place to, you know, the comedy aspect becomes a justification of, yeah, I'll have a couple of beers. Like, all right, do my thing. Now I'm going to get fucking drunk tonight with all my friends. It's like, all right, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Like, live your life, I guess. Yeah. That kind of sucks, but, you know, live your fucking life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a space for it, but like my thing is, like with the mics, like I always tell people, I'm like, it's like work, like you're clocking in, and they're like, yeah, but you don't get paid for it. It's like, yeah, but you don't get paid at your job for just showing up. Like you have a payday, so I'm doing this for the big payday, and like just go. Like I always thought, like I don't know, at the mics I suck. Like I already know. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to figure this out. Like yeah, and so I'm like, well, you know, so I don't know, you have that like type of person because you can see who's trying to figure things out. And then you do see the people who are like, I'm just here hanging out, telling some inside jokes with all the friends. I'm like, it's hard to watch, but I'm like, okay, well, I mean, there's a space for it, I guess.
Yeah, no, but getting into it too, only thinking about, I'm gonna get rich one day. That's where I assume where, you know, 8-10 years down the road, that's your only goal. And you're not focused on the work behind it, that's when you feel like you're banging your head against the wall. It's like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And that's scary. At least to me it is. Yeah. To me, that's fucking scary, dude. It is. That's scary, man. But, I mean, so what was it like getting out of the state for the first time and trying to get booked at other places? Like, how did you go about doing that?
So, yeah, like I said, I started with Arizona. And I always thought I waited like a couple of years. But I was looking back at Facebook. You know, it was like, hey, this is where you were in 10 years. You remember her? Like, damn, fuck that bitch. Like, but, and I was like, okay, like, I waited like a year and then I started doing that. And yeah, I just, like, the hardest part was like just putting my name out there. And that was the first place that I went that was out of the state. And the second place I went to was Fort Collins. And then I always get nervous. Then I had got nervous because it was like the scenes are different. Like you don't know like what the demographic is going to be like. Like will they take me? You know how is this joke going to do? Or like are they even going to understand what I'm talking about? And so I mean now, you know I mean it's pretty interesting. It's like I see it more as like a challenge. Like I want it, you know, because the way I try to write is like my stuff can cross lines and like it should be funny to anybody.
Right. Yeah. You can't. I learned that I used to go to the writing circles a lot at Dry Heat, and I was working on a joke at some point early about midget wrestling, and I thought it was funny, and it worked sometimes. But one of the linchpins, or one of the punchlines in the joke, was a local venue. And the minute that I said that at one of the writing circles, Steph was in the back, like shaking his head, and he's like, "Yeah, it may be funny here, but try taking that somewhere else. They're not gonna know what the fuck you're talking about." And I was like, "Shit, he's right," because now it's like that's like a minute and a half joke, and I only have about 6.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, there goes like a fourth of my set. So I was like, how do I either fix this? And I just ended up dropping it. But when you went out to Arizona for the first time, where did you get into an actual club? Did you like, okay, where did you end up performing at?
It was, man, they closed down during COVID, but it was in Scottsdale. It was called Stand Up Scottsdale.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was a club. And the host at the time is like a big deal in Phoenix. Like his name's Gene Moore, and he still travels. He does like a lot of, you know, he's still out there working. And then the second host at that club was a crowd worker. I think it's Sean Dillon or Sean Dillingham or something like that. He's not working in anymore, but like that was like the first time I saw like crowd work in person, and I've never had any care to even like try it out though. But like just seeing, I'm like, I mean, it's a muscle, like you know. I mean, I respect it to a degree.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I wish I had that muscle.
Yeah,
Like, and I try to figure out sometimes like what jokes do I have that could maybe lend itself to like, instead of just straight starting it, maybe like opening to the crowd and then like pre-planning it, but going into the crowd, looking for the reaction, looking for the transition, getting the transition and getting to the joke to make it seem more seamless. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, this is what I was talking about here, or whatever. You know, like just stupid fucking tricks to get into it. But the way I look at it is like, well, you either, because it's material or crowd work, and for at least for me at this point, I would rather have like my roadmap where like I know where I'm going, I know where the turns are, I know how to get to my destination for 10 to 12 minutes. Then just going up in front of people and just hoping they get me there.
right.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
fuck that. That's it. But there's people that are fucking great at it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, well, fair enough, man. What did it bring you down to El Paso?
I moved to Cruces.
Okay.
And
That's a sad little town.
man, you know what? Going to UNM, you are bred to hate Cruces and State. And so I'm like, I hate Cruces. I don't even know why. And when I got there, I was walking around with my Lobo gear.
That's a mistake.
Hey, I'm like, I will fight anybody. And I had actually quit comedy at that time. And
What made you quit?
I just didn't like the politics, and I felt like I had to like suck someone's dick for stage time.
Why, you're not a female comic. You gotta do that.
Hey, I think there's been some male comics who have sucked dick for stage time.
AJ De Leon, somebody.
See,
No, he didn't suck my dick.
no, he sucked mine though.
Well, it didn't get him nowhere, so oh well.
Nope. I'm like, I don't, yeah, it's just like the. I mean, and I've learned like every scene has it. It's all the politics. Who do you know? You don't hang out after mics, or you don't talk to so and so, or you don't socialize. And I've always viewed it as like I'm punching in. Like it's just
That's how I view it too.
yeah. And you know, I'm like a natural introverted person, so I'm not like a
Yeah.
so it's kind of difficult to go out and be social and stuff. But I was like, fuck this, I'm out. So I moved, and I was working at the hospital down there, and I met this dude and his girlfriend, and she was talking about how he wanted to try stand-up. I'm like, okay, well, I know people, and because there's some El Paso comics who would come up and do comedy at Imbibe. And
Where at?
Imbibe? Oh. How long have you lived in Albuquerque?
My whole life.
And you've never heard of Imbibe? Man. The premier cocaine club.
What?
Yes. It's on Nob Hill, right? And Tuesday night was college night. And so it was popping on a Tuesday. And
Maybe I know this, but what the fuck is it called?
Imbibe.
How do you spell that?
IMBIBE. Which I learned is a real word meaning to drink.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Well, the fucking word came up. Give me the club. Google. Jesus. Oh, well, it's permanently closed now.
Yeah.
Well,
But, and it was two owners, and they used to have this wall that went all the way up to the ceiling, and they kept catching people in there doing cocaine. So they had to cut it down in half and turn it into like a VIP lounge. And then they had as like a sky deck. And the owners would still be doing coke up top. And then during COVID, when they shut down, the owners opened up their home, and then they were having house parties. But I used to always run into John Jones over there.
well, okay. So, yeah, a thing came up on Reddit. And it's like, what happened to the club? Yeah, so too many people drugged, too many fights, way too many underage morons. And at the very bottom, I guess there was something happened where a baseball player died.
So...
oh, shit.
So I was there that night right around the corner getting tacos from Last Call.
Getting tacos,
Yeah, and so I'm there, and I'm like, you could see when like all the tension's bubbling and stuff. And you're like, I need to get my food and get the fuck up out of here. And so I get my food, and I leave. When I get home, it says shots fired, UNM baseball player killed, and it was. I'm probably getting this wrong, but I think he mistakenly stepped on somebody's shoes, and he got mad and shot him. And the guy who shot him was a aspiring rapper or something like that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the club closed. Well, so attendance dropped after immediately, right? But I'm like, people get shot in front of every club. Like I was, what happened? This is January 2020. I was on the corner of Central and 4th Street, and I was like, something's about to happen. So I go home again, shots fired on that very same corner.
You need to stop going out, dude.
No, hey.
You're a curse.
Black people can sense danger. So we're like, hey, something's happening. We need to go. It's like a Peter tingle.
Yeah.
A Spidey tingle. That's what it is.
Well, that pissed me off so. This is a totally separate subject. When they started calling his Spidey sense the fucking Peter tingle, I was sitting in the theater like,
It's called the spider sense, you
Spider sense.
fucking assholes.
I was just watching it. My bad. Yeah. I think the third Spider-Man is up there.
It's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Well, it closed the loop on everything that those previous franchises did completely wrong. Well, not completely wrong. Well, it is funny to me, because I was rewatching Spider-Man 3 a couple weeks ago, and that movie is aged gracefully in comparison to what's been coming out now. I can deal with the emo Peter and the dancing and all of that if it means that we're not getting the current, if I'm not watching the current Marvel.
Yeah.
But like everything from like Andrew Garfield saving Zendaya, closing the loop on his Gwen, and then everything with Tobey Spider-Man being a mentor. Because me and my buddies, this shows how dorks we were. Oh, still are, but especially back then. I remember when we all had a house together, we would just get hammered and talk about everything we wanted to see in movies. And I remember getting hammered one night. I was like, what would be great if Tobey Maguire gave this new guy the great power speech? That would be awesome. And great responsibility. That'd be great. And they did that in the theaters, and I bawled like a baby. I was like, oh my God, they did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they actually went out and listened to everyone, and all the writers were like, okay, we're going to add that. We're going to add this and this.
I'm cool. If they bugged my house, then that's the only tip they took. Fair enough. But yeah, no, that's the fucking Peter tingle. So you got so black people got the Peter tingle.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, something's happening. Someone's dying tonight. Jesus. I'm leaving. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that video, what was it like? Yeah, I think it was last winter or something when those two idiots, and I think like one of them had a buddy behind them. They were on Central and like walked up on each other. One guy pulled out his gun and shot him and missed, and then the other guy was running away and started shooting like that. Did you see that video? And it happened all in front of a bunch of cop cars.
Yes.
Fucking.
And the cops are just.
And they didn't do shit about it. And then, and I remember, and then in the comments section on Instagram, some guy commented and was like, "Yeah, I was here for this. I got shot in the leg," and everyone was like, "Bullshit, you fucking liar!" And then he posted a picture in the comments section of him in the hospital. And his fucking leg is all bandaged up. He's like, yeah, I was sitting on some fucking, maybe like 409 or some club that has a balcony out there. Guess he was just having a cigarette. Caught one in the quad.
See, it's because I think we're just nosy people. We're like, oh, damn, they were shooting. Just, I got shot.
That's why I don't hang out downtown very much.
I try not to. But this crowd that I've been hanging out with lately, they're like, man, we got to get some bitches tonight, and we have to go downtown. Like, there's bitches throughout all of Albuquerque. Like, let's go somewhere else.
I was gonna say, go to the gym, go to a Barnes and Noble,
a grocery store,
yeah, grocery store. Bitches need food.
Yes, bitches be hungry, and they're like downtown.
So you go down to Imbibe and you run into John Jones. Is that where the story was going?
I forgot where I was going with the whole Imbibe thing.
But okay, so
I mean, so there were they used to have a comedy show there.
Okay.
Yeah. Dawn Sherry would do a monthly show there, and she would bring in a lot of comics from El Paso. And so I met some of them through that. So kind of just to bring it back. So when this dude that I had met was wanting to do comedy, I introduced him to these comics. And then I had to get like a special invite to the El Paso comedy group on Facebook. So I show up to this mic thinking that this guy's going to show up. No show. And I'm there, and I know a couple of the guys, and they're like, "Hey, Jamar, are you going up?" I'm like, I didn't plan on it, but they're like, "No, come on, man, here's a mic." I'm like, fuck.
Right.
Yeah, so that got me back in. And I went from like doing it like once a month to like every other week, and then I was out there like maybe 3 or 4 times a night, or three or 4 times a week.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been because it's so close. It's like 3.5 hours, and I spent a lot of time down in El Paso as a kid, and I've been meaning to like try and plan something out, get in contact with somebody, and then just maybe take a couple guys down there and just see what's going on. Because it's just, I don't know, I thoroughly enjoy, I really do. I enjoy doing comedy here in Albuquerque, where it's like, I want to see, like, because me and AJ were going out to Austin at the end of next month.
Okay.
And we've got a couple shows out there, and I just want to see if this travels. Like, I know that I can do okay here.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I can do okay here, but it's like, I want to know if I can do it down there.
Right.
I want to know if this is actually something that, like, is it just because, like, maybe I have New Mexican mannerisms that I don't see because, I've just grown up around it, and I've just grown up around myself, so I am who I am. Like, does this go to somewhere relatively close to here? And Texas is right there. Denver is like, I feel like Denver has it's not like gate kept, but you need, like, experience to get up there. You need, you know what I mean? Like, you need to, like, because that's all I've heard about the Denver comedy scene is, like, at least, even, like, the mid-tier guys are just fucking phenomenal writers, and you need to, like, really, like, have a level of comedy up there that, like, maybe other scenes don't have to, like, even try and touch something like Comedy Works or Comedy Ford or, like, even some, like, the better bar shows out there. But Texas is just right there. Not, like, knocking Texas, but it's right there. So I want to go down to El Paso eventually. Waiting to see how Austin turns out. I'm gonna eat a fucking dick because I'll be at the fucking creek, and I'm fucking excited. But I'm like, fuck, dude, this is a real comedy club. Like, real comedians, and I'm just a little tadpole.
Well, and I've heard comics say this about us. If you can get a laugh in Albuquerque, it's like we have a cheat code here. Because I've always, up until recently, I've described comedy in Albuquerque as comedy ambush, where like. So family dining in, you got their kids there, and then just suddenly you see a mic and then an amp, and like, okay, what is going on? And then we're just setting up an open mic, and then you got to try to make these people laugh. Yeah. So if you can get at least like a small chuckle out of those people showing up and paying to laugh, it's cake.
See, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
See, and I'm going to trust that you're right. You've been doing it for forever. You've been around doing it. But, like, I hear that, too. And I'm like, okay, is that really the truth? Or is that something we're all telling ourselves so we don't fucking shoot ourselves after this? Because,
oh, no.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, my first time in Arizona, I did, like, it was, like, because I started off with, like, my weakest joke. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start out, and then I'll try to build it. And I was maybe, like, 20 seconds in, and this dude just started laughing. I'm like, oh, this is easy. Like, this is going to be easy.
Well, that's why I stopped doing the open mic before the whole place closed down. But that's why I stopped doing the open mic at Slice Parlor. Because I'm still working on it, but I have a story about going to Fantasy World for the first time, and the only time, but for my 18th birthday. And it's just a fucking disgusting story. Even shortened, it's just fucking disgusting. And right about the time when I get to a punchline about the stripper's pussy smelling horrible, I look in the back, and there's a family of 4 eating pizza. And I'm talking like mom, dad, 2 kids are like maybe 12 years old. And the dad, right when I started getting up to talking about that, the dad just does one of these. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, I'm not doing this anymore. My comedy is 21 and above. I'm not doing this. I'm not here to, like, have that awkward car ride home that I just caused.
Like, Dad, what's porn?
What's pussy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not there for that. But, yeah, I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll fucking see. Did you end up doing the, what's that club down there? The,
Comic strip?
Yeah, comic strip. Yeah, how's that?
A couple times. I mean, it's a good room. I think they seat like just under 300 people.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a good room.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. Every comic that I've met who's traveled, they don't like the owner. They're like, because it's Bart Reed's comic strip, and they're like, fucking Bart, man, like, I don't want to fucking deal with him, but I gotta come here, so I guess I'm gonna do it. And I went out there a couple months ago. A couple friends were doing the club, and so I'm like, well, I'll go support, and then they were gonna hook me up with a guest spot. Well, what ended up happening? So the headlining comic pissed Bart off because she didn't want to do press, and so he was like, okay, well then I'm taking away all your, like, I think she had two guest spots, 2 for the early show and then 2 for the late show. He's like, I'm taking away all of them. So the feature had to be the opener and host.
That sounds horrible. That's not a guest spot. That's a spot.
Yeah, and so
I'm taking away your legs.
yeah,
Crawl through this fucking show tonight.
yeah.
That's so stupid.
And I was friends with the feature and the headliner. So my friend, she was like, I have like 20, 30 minutes at best if I can stretch it. Now she had to do 45 with like the opening set and the hosting. And so she's like, he's killing me. I'm like, we'll go talk to him or something. Like, so, I mean, I got in free. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, see, and that's, if I was in that situation, I don't know what this says about me. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. But if I was that person in the feature spot where I was asked to do double my time, I don't have it. Either you let me fucking have the regular lineup on the show, or this is gonna go really bad.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we? Or just force them on anyway. What's the owner gonna do? Run on stage and yank somebody off like a Looney Tune cartoon with a giant cane, just like yoink? Like, that's not gonna fucking happen.
I mean, if I was a feature, it would suck, but I would be like, all right, let's see if I have time to cover. Like, all right,
Fuck that. Start doing a Q&A and shit.
yeah.
Do you like this? Do you like this is happening? I still have 15 minutes.
Man. Yeah, those are horrible. I've definitely been there. Like, you just like blow your whole load, and then you look and it's like, oh, I have 5 minutes left, and I got nothing.
Fuck that. And I ran into the opposite problem where I thought I would have more time. And then I'm just bombing for 6 minutes. That happened at Dry Heat last year. One specific show. I don't think I'm ever going to... I went up there and I did... It was in like November, October-ish. And it was this thing where all of the tables had a light on it. And if you were doing great, they left the lights on. But if they didn't like you, they turned the lights off.
And that was at
Dry Heat, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and so I'm just seeing all these lights. And it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. This is horrible. This is bad. I don't have the tools in the toolbox right now to pull these people back. So I'm going to do my time, do my commitment, and move on with my life. And I just see all these fucking lights going. I'm like, okay, that's fair. And there was just one light, like right immediately to my right, that was still on, and I had like maybe a minute and a half left. So I was like, fuck it. It's like, you're not enjoying this. Why is the lights? And then that got a laugh. Like, all right, I'm out of here. Fucking see ya. Jesus Christ.
That is interesting. So if you won them over, they would turn the light back on.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh. I didn't think of that far.
Oh, yeah, I didn't make it that far. Yeah, then I remember I walked to the back, and it was Black Mike, Jared, and Chuck were back there. And they were the only guys. They were laughing at me. Not with the set. They were laughing at me. I remember walking back there. I was like, thank you very much. I'm going to shoot myself. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a rough fucking set. When did you start feeling comfortable, like, with your time? When it was like, oh, I know I have a good 10. I know I have a good 15. And, like, how long for you did it take to get to that point where it was like, yeah, okay, I have the building? Because I don't know how it is for you, but, like, for me, it's just like we were talking about open mics, like, being work. It's like you're trying to figure out if any of this works, trying to figure out if any of this will hit. That's how, like, I am. Like, I try to go to an open mic and not have anything more than, like, 4 new things. And if all this works, I might have an extra 3 minutes I can use now.
Okay.
You know, it's like building like a Lego set. That's how my brain kind of sees it. So, like, how long until you started really getting like, oh, I have a thing that I can now keep, like, using, and now I can start instead of like having to bring new stuff into it, I can really keep retooling what I have now.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It took me 2 months to come up with 5 minutes that I was comfortable with.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, good for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I wrote a lot. I mean,
Okay.
and I was doing mics like 3 or 4 nights a week. And I was showing up with like 10 minutes every night. There's this one mic, and I still to this day I don't know. Okay, so I would show up. It was at Maloney's, which closed down. It was over next to the Target on Eubank. It was a piece of shit bar. It was connected to a piece of shit motel. And
oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I never went, but I remember seeing that. That was like way back in the day.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like 2014,
something like
13,
that.
around there. Yeah.
So it's all fenced off now.
Yeah.
But I would show up with 15 minutes, and it was only 8 of us, if that. So I'm like, well, I mean, you have 2 hours that you got to cover, and there's only 8 comics here. I'm doing all the 15 minutes that I wrote.
Right.
So, I mean, I was doing like an hour new stuff, like at least a month.
Jesus Christ.
But, I mean, I'm not saying that it was all good.
Right. No, the fact that you have that much to even like write and spit out and go do is insane.
I mean, it was easy earlier because it was like there was no like a filter didn't exist, and so I wrote and trusted everything. Now I'll write and like,
What do you mean by
funny.
a filter?
Like now I'll write stuff and I'm like, okay, I know if this would work, or if this is gonna need work, or this is not funny. Like I second guess all my stuff now. So there's stuff that has never seen any stage because I'm like, trash.
Right.
Yeah. And back then it was like I'm trying everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm still trying to build that for sure. Trying
Yeah.
to figure out like what is this even remotely funny, and I just go up there. And I remember it was like maybe a month ago. I did just something so stupid, and I went and sat down. And I said, Jake and Carl was like, "Was any of that good?" And they're like, "No, get rid of it." Oh, that was just horrible. I was like, "All right, thanks, man. Great."
Yeah, I was next to Cardo at Red Door a couple months ago, and I had a full hour that I brought, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna try this, and this, and I went up there, and no, it was before I went up. I looked at all my stuff. I was like, none of this is funny, like none of it, and I spent like 2 months writing all of that, and I was just trash. Like, and he was like, what? And I showed it to him. He was like, yeah, it's not good. It was like maybe on 6 pages.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start over. And so I just wrote some stuff down, and I took it up. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know, like it sucked.
Right. Fuck yeah, that's rough. What? So you touched on it a little bit earlier, but like, what does keep you going with stand up, and what's like keep bringing you to the table and keep working on things and all that?
I didn't answer your question earlier, and I don't remember what you asked, but we went off on like so many tangents. But so this is just for me, right? Like I had to ask myself early on, like, what are you in it for? And I'm like, well, I don't want a Netflix. That's not right.
Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Wait
okay.
a minute.
Everybody wants a Netflix special, but that's not my end goal.
I'm not going to let you get out here and lie like that.
Yeah. It'd be nice. Okay, well, I don't care for the Netflix special. I want Netflix special money. But but I had to like ask myself, like, is that the end goal? And so I mean, now it's like I see it as what keeps me coming back is the challenge of being better. And so so it's just okay, well, I want my jokes to be better. I want them to hit harder stage presence. I want that to, want to like actually look comfortable up there.
Right.
And so I'll just check off all of those boxes, and I'm like, okay, well, if I'm honestly, like, if 10, 15 years later, if I'm still local, but if I'm the funniest local comedian you've seen, I would be happy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, because that is something too that I'm curious about before we wrap. It's just like, so the business side of stand up, are you like going out and like finding different clubs, or like because what I'm learning, and a lot of this is because of a conversation that I had about a year and a half ago with Zach Abeda. I'm really starting to appreciate where we are physically located in Albuquerque because it's like we have Denver right up there. We have Colorado 6.5 hours this way. We have Texas, 6 to 10 hours, even 3 if you're going down to El Paso this way. You've got Arizona right there. Nevada's a hop over. LA's an hour and a half that way. Like, there's a lot. Like, we're kind of centrally located. So like as far as like the business side of things go, are you like looking up like different like clubs, like sending them out EPKs, trying to like find other shows to be on like outside of the state too? Like, are you doing stuff like that to kind of like spread the reach and start to like network with more people and all that type of shit?
I'm still working on a EPK. I don't have one yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'll
because you were running with Revel for a while, right? Doing comedy stuff there.
Yeah, so I was doing that 2.5 years, and I was able to get like a good network. And so I have like when I was in Houston a couple weeks ago, I looked and I'm like, oh dang, I know like 8 comics who are out there. So I hit them all up. Hey, can you point me to where I have to go? And so they went and did that. Or I know people in San Antonio. I don't know anyone in Austin that I can think of. But yeah, so like there's some pretty good markets where I'm still in good standing with a lot of these people. And if they don't know, or if I don't know anyone in those cities, they can point me to somebody. So yeah, I'm just sending off stuff. And I don't know. It's kind of weird because like there's places that I want to go to, and then it hasn't really happened like that. It's just taken longer to like get a booking, or I'm like, hey, I wanted to go here, but let me go to this city first and kind of like tighten up and get this sharper, and then I'll go over.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. And I just asked, I've started to do that because now I've just been, honestly, what kicked me in the ass was fucking AJ went and got guest spots with William Montgomery. And I was like, fuck this. If he can just DM people and get a guest spot, I'm just going to start like sending out EPKs and sending out DMs and figuring out like who's coming here and who's going to be there. And just like I'll just sit down for like an hour and just like figure things out.
I wish I could do that. Like me, I'm like, hey, do you have like a 7-minute guest spot that you might could throw my way or something? And they're like, yeah, like what? Like here, I'll give you 20 minutes. I'm like, okay,
that's great. Do that.
Yeah, right. But I'm over here like, please, sir, do you have maybe like 5
Fuck
minutes?
it.
But I mean, you got AJ, who's like, hey. Like touring comics, and I'm over here like, hey, if you can get me in a bar show, I'd be happy. And they're putting me in a club, but I'm taking the like a long humble way around, and he's like, I'm in.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, the worst they're going to tell you, actually, the worst they're going to tell you is no.
Right.
More likely was going to. In my opinion, at least, more likely what's going to happen is it's going to get buried in DM. So fuck it. At least you tried.
Well, so like now, Barry Laminack, who I worked with before COVID, like the week before the whole shutdown, he's going to be at Hyenas this weekend.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, I'm not going to bug him, man. Like he's
fuck it.
Like I don't want to bother him. But there was let's see what happened. Orlando Leba, who I worked with in Phoenix, was just in Santa Fe. And I wrote him, hey man, I'm just shooting my shot, and he shot me down. He was like, you know what? It's not me, man. It's the club. You got to write the club. I'm like, bro, like you're the headliner. Like you could say I'm bringing an old boy with me, and he's doing this. And I'm like, all right. And then Jerry Garcia and Concrete, who I've worked with a few times, I had text him, and because he's gonna be at Hyenas next month, and I'm like, hey, do you have any spots? You know what, man? I just filled that up. I'm so sorry. And then Brandon T. Jackson was at Casadas, and
that's Tropic Thunder, right?
Yeah. And
Booty Sweat. Yeah.
Yep. So I have his number, and so I text him, nothing.
Oh, fuck.
Nothing. He didn't even open it. And I'm like, damn, I'm 0 for 3.
Fuck it, bro. Keep trying. You're going to hit a mark somewhere.
I don't know. And then I posted my text message to him, and then I tagged him on Instagram like, hey guys, well, let's see what happens. He didn't even open that up. I'm like, all right. I'm just weird about asking for spots. I mean, I'm like certain things I'll ask for, but like other things, like it just feels good to know that you had earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But then, like, see, I agree with you. I agree with that completely. Like going out and actually earning your keep and like getting in there because they booked you and shit like that. I totally agree with that. But then on the other hand, I was like, well, there's also because it's with stand up. I'm sure it's the same way in the rest of like entertainment in general. But a part of it too is who do you know and who can help get you where, and then it's a matter of when you get there, do you have it, and then you show that you have it, and then other people's. I'm not saying someone's gonna like see you in the club and this magic claw, and just pick the comedian out, like you are now successful. Like that's not gonna happen.
That does not happen.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the bright-eyed naivety that's of a new guy where it's like, it can happen. It can happen.
There's a Phoenix comic who's hilarious, and he got picked by Eddie Griffin to open up for him on the road. He did like 4 or 5 shows, and I'm like, oh, this dude's out of here. He's it. And once those 4 or 5 shows were done, he went home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, where's the rest? Just nothing. He's like, oh no, show's over. I'm like, damn.
So he got shown the gates of heaven, and they're like, nope, you're not dead yet. Flick.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a long road.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, maybe it is because you do need some level of delusion to keep doing this type of shit.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's delusion, but the only thing that's really going to stop any of that from happening is just up and quitting.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. Fuck this. Because now you guarantee that all the doors are closed.
I've quit comedy 3 times.
Oh, fuck.
And, yeah. And the time I was in Cruces was the last time. But Mary Bird told me, because I have run into her. I was like, yeah, I'm done. She's like, when am I going to see you at the next show? I was like, I quit. She was like, no one ever quits. It's just a long break. I'm like, all right.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, that's, I think that's the biggest, not the biggest, that is the guaranteed way where you just stop the opportunity, is just quitting. But all it takes is like one thing to happen. And then I don't know, again, maybe it's delusion, maybe it's my, like the religious side of me, but just there has to be some kind of snowball effect down the road somewhere. Yeah. Now, granted, you need all the work behind it, and you need all the, like, I remember I heard Matt Rife talking about it. He was like, yeah, everyone thought that I just blew up overnight, but I was doing stand-up for 12 fucking years to nobody. And then I had one clip go crazy, then everything went crazy. So I don't know, maybe he's fucking lying too. That's also an option, but who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I saw a special on when he was 19 on Wild and Out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's been at it like a good minute.
Who the fuck knows, man? Anyway, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I like talking to you, dude. I want to get you a Safe House again. That was fucking. You're funny, dude.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Because we've had you on Safe House once, right?
Yeah, I did that once, and then the Block once.
Yeah, the Block. Yeah, that Block one was fucking fun, dude.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
And it's funny you bring up the crowd work stuff because I feel like the Block is a good room for that. Yeah. I feel like they want to be a part of the or a part of the show, and they want to be spoken to. And every time that I go up there, I try a little bit more to do that.
Okay.
But then those fucking lights get in my face. I'm like, nah, I can't even see you guys, so I'm not going to talk to you.
Yeah. I mean, a cheat code is being that you have a roadmap. Like, you have your joke, so you kind of just, like, throw it on the audience. Right. And then you kind of get, like, a little conversation, and you already know where you're going to be going with it. So you just guide them there.
Yeah. And I remember I had a show there, maybe like a month ago or so, and I was just bombing my ass off. And for like 4 minutes just dying. And then the only thing that saved me, funny enough, was a crowd work thing where some guy decided to bring up Kanye. And I talked shit about Kanye for like 2 minutes. That saved me, and I pulled the ripcord and left.
Yep.
But before we get out, where can everyone like find you on like Instagram, like various social media stuff? And do you have any shows coming up? This will be out in about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Show's coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll be at Knuckles in Santa Fe May 17th.
Oh, I'll be there too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
That'll be a good time.
Hopefully, the day before I might be. We'll see if JBM changes the date, but I may be with Trish Smart on the 16th at Brew Lab in the Heights.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Thank you for that connection.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, appreciate that.
It worked.
Yeah, we're gonna do a podcast at Block.
Okay.
And then me and AJ got her on that show as well.
Oh, nice.
So appreciate that.
Yeah, and then let's see. Sorry, and then I'm gonna be in San Antonio And then I got booked in my hometown, Sunray, on June 14th.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Maybe the magic claw comes down and gets you at one of those fucking shows, bro.
Hopefully, man. Like that was always a goal. I'm like, I'm fucking from here. Like, why haven't you guys booked me yet? It's just, but yeah, I'm on. Let's see. Instagram might be the easiest thing. And just the Wordsmith, WURDSMIFF. TikTok's the same thing. And same with YouTube.
Sick.
Yeah.
And then all of that's going to be in the description as well. So, yeah, thank you again for coming to do this, dude.
Yeah, man.
I had
Thanks
a
for having
blast. This was fun hanging out. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye,
All right.
everybody. Cool. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you like what you've seen here, please share it with as many people as possible. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the podcast. And if you're feeling extra generous, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, which I have coming soon.